Okay, the YouTube, we are back. It is day 2, working on the Polo. And today I've got a couple of things just to sort of figure out really. So, back in the garage, engine, obviously now out of the car. Car sat there looking very, very sorry for itself. And yeah, a couple of things that I just need to sort out. I've sort of tried to make sense of this wiring loom, just compare it up to what's on the engine. I think we're slowly getting there. These pretty much are all of the engine connections. I mean, I don't know if I showed you this in the last video, but this is the loom that we've got. So it's pretty good, or it certainly sort of seems like it. I believe it's had a lot of the stuff cut out, so it is about as plug and play as you can get. Obviously an aftermarket fuse box or a trimmed down fuse box with OBD. But obviously all this wiring looks new, so obviously somebody's done a pretty good job on it. Everything is wired, earths, switch live, all that sort of stuff. So it is just a case of sort of slowly figuring out what to do with this. So I believe that I can get rid of my entire loom in that car in terms of all the engine loom. I mean, I believe I've just got to go and get some sort of like, obviously switch lives, stuff like that, and then it should all just work. We've got the little transponder box thing just there, or immobiliser, whatever you want to call it. And then we have still got the key and the original ignition barrel there. So I believe it's all been immobilised or whatever needs to be done. It is just a case of sort of finding out where this goes. Originally I thought I had to like piggyback this ECU onto that one, but I don't think that is the case. So yeah, that is today's job, figuring that out. I'm half tempted to pull the car out, get the engine crane back out again, get the engine out of the van and just sit it in there, and just make sure that all the brackets and stuff line up, which hopefully it should do. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. The only thing that I do need to double check is whether the original gearbox mount from down here actually fits on the new engine. Some people have said that you need to sort of shave a little bit off the engine, so I think that's probably what I'm going to go do first, is just double check whether this bracket fits onto the AFH engine. Okay, so engine still in the back of the van. I've just realised what a wally I am. We have got a GT gearbox, so it is an OEM Polo box, so actually that bracket should just go straight on there. So yeah, I think the first job is going to be bring the van around the front. We'll try to get that engine out the back of the van, and then we'll start putting some of the original sort of engine mounts and stuff like that on, and then maybe just try to fit it in the car, just see how easy it goes in, and then I think from there, you know, it can obviously come back out fairly easily with a crane. So I might get it in, start trying to get some of the wiring figured out, and then if it needs to come back out, I know some people give me some advice on sort of stitch welding and stuff like that, just on the weak points of the car. So I'll probably get it in, see if I can get it running, and then take it back out again, and then we can complete all of the little bits, but at least I know where I am with the engine. So engine is out, as you can see behind me. So yeah, we just need to disconnect these engine mounts. I believe these are from a Mark 1 Golf. So we've got one to go there, one to go just around the side there, and of course that gearbox mount that we're talking about as well. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is just get rid of the majority of this engine loom for the AAV. There's obviously a lot of bits going on there. I'm just going to disconnect it, I'll strip it back a little bit, and then hopefully it just seems like we're working with not so much of a rat's nest. So I'm going to do that now, and then yeah, we'll cut to swap over all the mounts. So very quick update on where we've got to. All the engine wiring is out now, so that is all the loom connected up to the ECU. Fuel relays, everything like that. That is all out. I've just tried to tuck away as many of the bits that are still sort of connected. I think I've got some like dodgy wiring for old immobilizers and stuff like that. Some stuff that was never connected in the car, so I don't know if anybody knows what that is. But yeah, some of the bits are still in there. I've just pulled everything through, just like the speed cable, tucked everything out the way, and now I'm going to try and get the engine mounts just onto the car and just give it a little test fit, see if it sits in there all right, see if I've got any upcoming problems, anything like that. I know I've got to adapt the, well, not adapt, but the fuel lines are different. They're just like a push fit, whereas currently on the Mark IIF they're these sort of fittings, so I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine. Just cut them and we'll figure out a way to sort of secure them with some Jubilee, something like that. But yeah, I think it is time to sit the engine mounts on that. So very simply, you just need to take all of the old engine mounts off the Polo engine. So I'm just loosening off the alternator here. Very easy to come off, and then take the engine mount off. You've got one on this side, you've got a gearbox mount. Thankfully I already have a 5-speed car, so this one quite literally just goes onto the new box. Then you can just see me here taking the Mark I Golf engine mount off and then replacing with the Polo mount before then putting the alternator back on the car. Gearbox mount slots back on like so. And then the rear engine mount just bolts on as well. So far so good. There's a couple of little bits that I've sort of run into that I'm just going to try give you a little bit of a helping hand on. So first thing is just the alternators. I've lined it up. There is some sort of spacers in there, so if I get rid of those spacers it should all line up nicely and I should be able to use the sort of like 6 belt. Now the only thing is for the engine mount, which mounts up, where's it go? There. So that sort of bolts onto the engine mount. Now on this one, don't know if you can see, the hole is very small compared to this one. So that one doesn't actually bolt in properly. You cannot get the, unless you've got some sort of different bolt or anything like that, but the actual bolt for the Polo engine mount does not go through that hole. So I'm going to have to use the original Mark IIF alternator, and I'm just going to swap the pulleys over. So I have already loosened them, and hopefully, yeah, that will just come off like that. Get rid of that pulley as well. Now don't be fooled, it definitely does not come off that easily, just sort of standard. I have already loosened those, but hopefully the combination of losing these washers and just putting it on sort of normally should just sort of fix that problem. So engine ready to go back in. We've still got the Mark IIF alternator. I've changed over the pulley for the AFH, so it's still like a 6 PK belt or whatever they call them. Obviously AFH pulley there as well. So that took a little bit of persuading just to get off, but hopefully lines up pretty well, to be fair. So hopefully that will do. So now it's just time to get that in there.
That's a bit noisy.
Say it again.
A bit noisy.
So I did have a little bit of help here. This is definitely easier as a 2-person job. It does go in quite nicely. It's obviously a little bit wide. It is a fairly tight fit with the alternator on, but a little bit of to-ing and throwing and you will get it in there. Now, the only bit of advice I would say is just to take the rear engine mount back off, attach it back to the car or the chassis, and then it's easier just to bolt it up once the engine is sort of back in there. Okay, so just to give you a quick update on where we are, Carrie's back in the garage, engine is back out. And to say that we've had a bit of a while we're in there is definitely an understatement. So let me show you where we've got to. So the engine is back out and we just saw what a perfect time. I've taken on board your guys' advice and we are going to complete a load of welding. So we're going to do both of the chassis legs, a couple of little repairs, engine mount and everything like that. And then it's just a case of trying to make the engine look pretty again. We are going to go hopefully for a fully smoothed, welded and painted engine bay. But to see that, you will need to tune in to the next video. So I hope you've really enjoyed this one. We have managed to test fit it. We've managed to get the engine in. It all fits. Now it is just a case of really tidying it up. So make sure you are clicking that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and drop a comment if you have got any bits of advice or any more while we're in theirs. Once again, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.